Today on Gary's Urban Larder, I'm testing another recipe for my upcoming Jazz Brunch. This time, a Southern-Style Eggs Benedict. Let's get started. I'm enjoying testing my recipes for my upcoming Jazz Brunch. So I just want to go through today's ingredients for the Southern Style Eggs Benedict. I'm going to make my buttermilk biscuits. So I have flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda, and buttermilk and butter. I'm not using lard this time. I'm going to make these very, very rich. And I have a little extra flour for dusting and my scraper. For the eggs, we're going to do those by poaching them in the oven. So I actually have a muffin tin that I've pre-buttered, and I'll add my eggs into that, a little splash of water, and into my oven at 210 Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius for about 6 minutes. And then we'll make the Hollandaise, where I have some lemon, white wine vinegar, 3 egg yolks. We're going to use some white pepper and maybe a pinch of salt. And we're going to use a stick blender to do that. And finally, for garnish, I have some smoked paprika and some chives that we're going to sprinkle across the top. Okay, we'll get started on the biscuits. So I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon of salt. Remember, the baking soda is very salty, and I'm adding my baking powder. Keep my salt there for when I need it. And we will now just combine that. I'm just going to mix that through with my hands. This is something you're going to just always do with your hands, making biscuits. I love making biscuits. I do it regularly. And so in goes our butter, which I'm just going to rub into the flour. And you'll see my other biscuit recipe. The trick really is to get the little bits of butter coated by the flour. And so when it dissolves, it creates that flakiness. So I'll just get this rubbed in, and then we'll add our buttermilk. I nearly forgot to mention the ham. I have some beautiful baked ham that I've warmed, which will go on our Eggs Benedict. Can't have Eggs Benedict without ham. Well, actually, you could. You could substitute a smoked halloumi that you've grilled instead of ham if you wanted to avoid any meat. But this has an awful lot of dairy. So if you're a strict vegetarian, and certainly if you're vegan, this is not plant-based. So I apologize in advance. I've got that rubbed together. Now I'm just going to add in my buttermilk. Okay. And once I have that combined, I'm just going to turn that out on our surface, which I'll lightly flour. So there we go. And I have my scraper. You remember I told you how important it is to really have your scraper, because you can clean your hands as well as bring everything together on the worktop. So get that done. And this we're not rolling. We're going to pat this out. Use both hands now. We're just going to keep turning that and folding that over and pressing it down. So the one thing about making biscuits, you don't want to handle them too much because that will make them tough and they won't rise. So we have the oven set to a very hot oven, 425 degrees, 210 Celsius. And these will go in to the oven for 12 to 15 minutes, probably closer to 12. I don't want to overbake these, but I also want to make sure they have enough structure so they can hold the egg and hollandaise. So right. And I'm going to cut these with my little biscuit cutter, a little extra flour. And remember that we want to create an edge. So we don't want to twist. We want to press that straight down, dust it, and we'll pull that away. You can even see the bits of butter in there. So we're going to put that on some parchment paper and then into our hot oven. So I'll just finish cutting out the rest of these. And again, I'm just folding that over and then pressing that down, turning it, folding it over and pressing it down, which will give us our laminations. So I think I can get 2 more out of this one. 1, 2, and we'll get 1 more. And a little half turn, pressing it down, fold. A little wider. Straight down and straight up. There we go. So while our biscuits are finishing baking, I'm going to get our eggs ready to go into the oven just after. I buttered this muffin tin and I'm just going to add my eggs. So there's 1. I'm doing 6 eggs at a time, 2. This is a great way if you have a large group to poach your eggs. Whoops. Almost had a catastrophe there. A great way to do your eggs. You can do them ahead, undercook them slightly, and you can put them in an ice bath, and then you can warm them through later in the day when you're ready for them. So if I do this for the brunch, I'll do this very early morning, and I'll do the ice bath method. So the next thing to do really is just to put a little splash of water, about a tablespoon, into each cup. And if you want, you can sprinkle a little bit of salt into them as well, which that will actually help the white of the egg to set. Otherwise, you could use a bit of vinegar. But I think in this instance, we'll just add a flake or 2 of sea salt. And now that's ready to go into our oven. Again, that's 210 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 Celsius. And it'll cook for about 6 minutes. We'll keep an eye on them. And while our eggs are poaching in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make the hollandaise. So I want 3 egg yolks. Separate these, saving the whites for maybe a white omelet, or you could make meringue. So maybe I'll make a cake. So there's 1. Just get these separated. 2. Set those whites aside. So I'm going to add our white wine vinegar, our pepper, some salt, the sea salt, and I'm just going to take our lime and juice it. Want about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, not a lime, it's a lemon. So add that. And with our stick blender, just going to start to emulsify that. And as that's going, I have some clarified butter that I'm just going to add slowly into that mixture. And there we have our Hollandaise. Just wanted to show you that our eggs have been poached and they've come out of the oven. And I just want to see if I can get one out for you so you can have a look. Just running my spoon around. And there we have a beautifully poached egg, which we'll use for our Eggs Benedict. Right, let's get this plated. So I'm just going to split. Oh, look at that. One of the biscuits. Just looks so beautiful. And I'm just going to take some of our warmed ham. And I'm just going to place that on top. And our egg. So I'm just going to get our egg on there. So I have our egg. And now some of our Hollandaise. Oh, look at that sauce. I think we need a bit more. Decadent. Just beautiful. And of course, some of our smoky paprika. And finally, some chive. Let that fall from a distance to distribute. And there we have our beautiful Eggs Benedict Southern style. Okay, let's try this. It looks amazing. Oh, look at the yolk. Look at the runny yolk. That just looks fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel, it's free, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single recipe. Finally, please share this with your friends to help build our community and the channel. I really appreciate it. Until next time, goodbye. Definitely on the menu.